fourth graders, today we're going to talk about degrees and how to measure angles. So the first thing I want you to realize is a degree is a unit of measurement used to measure angles and the angles within a shape. Now I always think it's helpful when I'm thinking about shapes, polygons, to know their degrees. And for example, a circle, which isn't a polygon, the shape of circle, has 360 degrees. Now we don't see the angles, but we can draw the angles in there. Now we also get from this, if we draw it here, there would be 180 degrees on this side and 180 degrees on this side. So we know that a straight line has 180 degrees, okay? So from my straight line, for example, if I drew an angle here, the right angle, I know that there's 90 degrees on this side and 90 degrees on this side. Now I use a little zero above there to show my degrees. And half a 90, let me move this, half a 90 is 45. So there's 45 degrees on this side, 45 degrees on this side. This whole angle, whole right angle, is 90 degrees. And 90 plus 45, or 45 plus 45 plus 90 is my 180, my straight line. And then, or if I just wanted to say 90 plus 90 is 180. So that just kind of helps me be able to estimate my, my angles. And also, another important shape to remember is that all quadrilaterals, that's a perfect square, all quadrilaterals also have 360 degrees, okay? So if these were all right angles, we're going to imagine they are, then 90 plus 90 is 180, 180 plus 180 would be 360, or 90 degrees times 4 would be 360 degrees. 90 times 4 would be 360. So that's a little bit about how I use degrees to help me measure my angles. Now there's also a tool that we use to help us measure our angles. And that tool is called a protractor. Okay, protractor. And this is a tool that mathematicians use to measure angles. Okay, so for example, let's say that I want to draw a straight angle. I can draw my straight angle here. I like to do it right there, actually. Well, we're going to imagine that it's perfectly straight. Okay, so there's my straight angle. A straight angle is 180. And I need to draw a 90-degree angle. If you're working in building when you get older, architects and builders, surveys, those occupations deal with degrees, okay? So there we have a 90-degree angle that I drew, okay? And now the way I would measure this is I am going to put this little hole right here. There's a cross right there, okay? And I'm going to put it in where my vertex is, and the vertex is the corner, fancy word for corner. So I'm going to put that hole in the middle of my vertex, and I can measure, okay? And I'm going to cheat a little bit because I know it's not perfectly straight. It's actually, I drew it a little bit larger than 90, like 94 degrees, okay? So that's how I would measure that, okay? Now, let's say I have an angle here. Okay, now I know that that is less than 90 degrees, and I always want you to remember that. First, before you measure an angle, look at the angle and ask yourself, is that a 90-degree angle or less than 90 degrees or more than 90 degrees? So, I know this is an acute angle. It has to be less than 90 degrees, okay? But when I look at my measurement, it says, I have on the top here, I have 155 degrees, okay? I know that's not right. I have to use the bottom measurement. So these measurements on the outside and on the inside are guides to help you, but they really only work if you ask yourself before you measure, is this an acute angle less than 90 degrees, a right angle 90 degrees more or less, or is it an obtuse angle? Now so this one we said, I'm going to measure this correctly, put that there on my vertex, and this is about 30-degree angle, okay? It's a 30-degree angle. So, now I know my straight line here is 180. And, therefore, I know that this obtuse angle, you see this obtuse angle here? This makes this made up of two angles. I know that this is an obtuse angle. So I'm going to be looking for the numbers that are above 90 degrees when I measure this. And I'm going to look at that and I'm going to measure this and I get 150. Lo and behold, 150. Okay, now look at this. Remember I told you that a straight line is 180 degrees? Well, when we add 150 plus 30, we get that 180 degrees. So that's a little bit about degrees, how we use them, and how we use the tool, a protractor. Thank you, fourth graders.